Team, this George. This is an exciting week coming up. Now we have two things that are going to be due uh, Monday, so week beginning of week 4. The research project part 3, the IRB form for excluded research, and the informed consent form. Notice it's a draft. Now what I have done, excuse me, what I've done here is I've attached these forms to the announcement both as PDF and Word format. So here is the informed consent. One thing that you never want to do is change it a whole lot. You don't want to change all this voluntary status. All that was written by lawyers and people that understand the law very well. What you want to do is you want to change this stuff: list of project titles, researcher, that's you, IRB number once signed. You're not getting an actual IRB number because you're not conducting the actual research. So we're not going to have that. So you can just delete that. And then it tells you here purpose. The study which you are being asked is designed to, and then you're going to insert 3 to 5 sentences about the study. You're not going to change any of this material here. You're going to talk about the procedure. How are you going to do the procedure? Give participant informed consent, and then you're just going to go. That is the step-by-step process of how you would do the procedure. Why do we have to know this prior to conducting any research? Because the IRB needs to make sure that we don't end up doing a Stanford prison experiment as well. They need to know the exact procedure we're going to follow. So in order for your work to be approved, you have to know exactly how you're going to do it prior to uh, even submitting for approval. So it can't be anything that's in question. Is there going to be any compensation? Generally, that's a yes or a no. If there's not, you have that. And then guess what? You're done. That's all there is to it as far as that goes. So you're going to fill out the purpose and the procedure and then the compensation. Is there any risk? Yes or no? If there's not, just keep the verbiage in exactly as you see it there, because we don't want to go in and recreate this whatsoever, because if you recreate it, then you've just taken out the stuff that all the lawyers and everything have put in. So use what they have. So this is not as difficult as it may seem. So the purpose, procedure, and then if there's any compensation, which everybody should be putting 0 down. And then it also asks us to do the excluded research. What do we have to do for this? Well, this is attached both PDF and Word form. Uh, Students, just put your own name there, the title of your study, and then the research question or hypothesis. So all this is forcing us to think a little bit deeper about our project that we're doing. And then our participants, do we have to have actual participants? No, because we're not going to actually do this, but we want to provide a demographic characteristics of the intended participants. What does that mean? Where are you going to get the people from if you were to do this? Are you next to it? Are you going to go to a mall and just have random people at the mall? How are you going to get it? And then once again, procedures for data collection. So you need to write down your process once again. So that's very similar to, actually, it's exactly what we did here with procedure. So once you have a one, it's the same on this page as well. Instruments. So if you're using a test, written test, you're going to write down the written test you're using. If, like, people have the uh, gum chewing and stuff, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to have a test, you're going to have gum, you're going to have all that. So just list out the stuff that you're going to have. So instruments also is a code name for stuff. So that's what we want to use. Do you have to have all these filled out with signatures? Absolutely not, because we are not collecting actual data. So you just have to focus in on this part right here. So I hope this was helpful, because this is where we're starting to get into the detail of the process. And it can seem overwhelming when in reality it's not, because a lot of the overwhelming stuff has been done for us. When I conduct research, I don't make any more changes than what I've showed you in the informed consent, because that would mean that I would be liable, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So we don't have to come up with all the legalese. We just tell them what we're going to do, is kind of the bottom line. So have a fantastic week.